our regiment was raised on 15th of June 1941. Straight after that, we went to war. We went to the World War II, that's 42, and we went to Jasami, and that area of Jasami, Kharsham, that's the belt where we fought. When the 62 war happened, they wanted another academy where they will churn out emergency commission officers. Okay. That is how the thing about the officers training school came up. Now this after this they started training officers to join the army because there was a shortage of officers. Mm-hmm. That training started happening, and then slowly it graduated into officers training academy. Yes. So this was basically open that they wanted to have short service officers who would be available to compensate or make up for the shortage of officers and all. Everyone is supposed to be commissioned into war, right? So you have to be together in that battlefield together. So that spirit of camaraderie is what buddies are. That is what buddies are all about. So you have to see. So when you work in cohesion, how do you work? You're coming from different backgrounds, right? But you're fighting the war together, or you're fighting any skirmishes together, right? So if you're thinking tangentially, so here in the academy, they're trained to think alike.
Hello guys, welcome to the new episode of the Mindmix Podcast, and in this episode we had Retired Major Muralidhar Kutty. It was a very great conversation. It was an inspiring conversation. We talked about Assam Regiment, we talked about his journey and much more things. This episode will be divided into two parts. This is the part one of the conversation with Major Muralidhar Kutty, and here we go. So sir, thank you very much for joining our invitation. For accepting our invitation and joining us on our podcast. It is a great honor for us that Abai. And we'll start first of all we'll bombard with questions for sure. And the first question is tell us about yourself and your journey of what you are.
Firstly, thank you so much, Siddharth. It's nice joining this podcast today. I've been contemplating being a part of a podcast for quite some time. It's a beautiful opportunity that's come my way. To talk about my journey into the armed forces, I was born in a hamlet, Ailur, in Kerala. And my first exposure when I was born was seeing my father in the green uniform. He was deployed in Kashmir, and when I was born, a couple of months after I was born, he came in the uniform. I saw first time I saw a person in uniform. So somewhere along the line, it had gone to into the backside of my brain that yes, one fine day I'd also sport the same. So that's how the initial formative journey started. And then we've been traveling all over with the dad, and dad being in the armed forces. We were seeing every day in and day out. And we studied through schools, which always had the army background. Obviously, the motivation factor was there. And dad was very hell-bent that, when the time comes, his sons should also join the armed forces. Okay. And for sure, it happened. His aim came true, or his desire came true, when the eldest brother joined the armed forces, which was followed by me. And then my youngest two joined the armed forces. Unfortunately, during that particular time, the woman had not been inducted in the armed forces. Had he been given the chance, he would have inducted both my sisters also into the armed forces. So that's how it all started. In the formative years, being through the NCC, seeing the people in the olive green, at the back of the mind, it was always there that one fine day I would also join the army. When I reached a particular stage in my life, when I was ready to take the plunge, I took the plunge for NDA. National Defense Academy, which is based out of Kadakwasla in Pune. And unfortunately, I did not make the grades then. I could not make the grade because of certain reasons. I did not join it. But at the back of the mind, it was always there that one fine day I will join the forces. And then I graduated from the Pune University. Obviously, there also we saw, I mean, being there, we did see the armed forces, we saw the National Defense Academy. That motivation factor was always there. And I was very fond of playing cricket.
Okay.
So, and Dad, as it is, was very keen that I should join the armed forces. But somewhere in the line, when you're there in college, you get carried away by a lot of other activities, and you want to take a different professional sort of a line. So I thought, why shouldn't I, become a professional in some other area? But then the stream I had selected was not anything to do with the medical or the engineering. I had taken a BSc honors.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I did very well. I got a competitive seat to do my MSc.
Why unfortunately?
Fortunately, yes.
Okay, sorry.
Fortunately,
Bye.
yeah. Fortunately, I got very good. I got a seat in the MSc in Pune University, and I walked up to my dad and told him, I said, Dad, I want to do my MSc in botany. That's what I was majoring in. And what kept the reply of my dad? See, you've been skirt chasing in the college, and once you do your post graduation, also you're going to do the same thing. And instead, I'll give you a better thing to do. I was, crestfallen in a sense, and I said, yeah, all my girls and all my classmates and all joining MSc, and I've got a seat, right? And getting a seat in those days was a big thing. And he said, "Okay, fine." So one fine day, he took me up to a factory in Nashik. He was based out of Nashik. So it was Mahindra and Mahindra was the company. Okay. They were from the electronic division. Okay. And I was from a graduate not into physics or chemistry or this thing. I walked up. There was an interview that was lined up, and he asked me, he says, what is your proficiency in these things and all. So the interview ran for about 30 minutes and all. And finally, the interviewer asked me, in addition to your qualification, do you do anything? Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, I play cricket. Okay. And that time, the Nashik group, the Mahindra, the Nashik group captain was the GM of that company. Okay. So he says, why don't you come and play cricket for us? Okay. So I joined as a production planning controller, and I worked with them for some time. And in the meanwhile, I cleared my Union Public Service Commission examination.
You have cleared UPSC?
Yeah, I cleared by
UPSC. CSE or?
For CDS, Combined Defence Services examination, for UPSC. And my name came for the Service Selection Board. And I went over to...
So what was your age?
I was about 19 and a half years. 19 years. Yeah, that was my age.
And you cleared CDS?
Yeah. I just got out of college. I had appeared for the examination because my dad was forcing me on to do it. So I appeared for the examination, cleared the examination, went for the Service Selection Board at Bhopal, got selected there, and then hit the merit list in the selection also. Mm-hmm. And then I had no other alternative. Mm-hmm. Dad said that you made it, and you have to go and join the forces.
There's no next step.
Yeah. So I at the back of my mind, I said, yeah, come on here. I mean, if I take a career in the army, what happens to this profession of mine, which I've already selected in the civil? Mm-hmm. So then with a very heavy heart, I went to the GM and told him that I'm joining the army. He says, are you taking the correct decision? I said, yeah, that's what my dad thinks. And that's how I joined the armed forces, and then the training at Chennai. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, after the training at Chennai, then they ask you as to which organization or which regiment or where you want to join, especially the top bracket people. Okay. Unfortunately for me, I was in the top bracket, and someone told me to fill the forms as to where do you want to join, and I wrote Assam Regiment. I don't know how it came, and by default or otherwise, I wrote Assam Regiment was my first choice. The second choice was Kumaon Regiment, and the third choice was the Gorkha Regiment, all infantry regiments. And being higher in the order of merit, they gave me the Assam Regiment.
Assam.
To be very frank, Sid,
Yes.
I did not know much about the Assam Regiment.
Okay.
And I did not know anything about the Northeast,
Okay.
excepting what I've heard the word Assam. Beyond Assam, for a layman like me, which is there in case of so many people, that they are not aware that Northeast is much beyond Assam.
Yes.
Okay.
There are many states.
Yeah. Obviously, once I went in there, that's the time I realized there are so many things beyond the state of Assam. Oh, well, I got my commission. My dad was the happiest, obviously, and then we had to go to Shillong.
Shillong.
Now, Shillong is where the center of the Assam Regiment Center is.
Okay.
Now, it is in Shillong. There's a place called Happy Valley.
Happy Valley.
Now, if you're equating Shillong, it is something close to. It may not be snowing like Switzerland, but it is something akin to Switzerland. And when we were about 5 of us who had made it into the regiment from IME and from the OTA, and we were sent for a pre-course training to Shillong. This pre-course training was for about 6 months before we do the young officers course in Belgaum. And what I saw in the Assam Regiment was something which I had not seen through my entire 20 years with my dad.
Okay.
There were troops who were coming from the various quarters of the Northeast,
Okay.
to name Assam, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and the other states of the Northeast, and speaking various dialects, following different sort of customs and traditions, but they were being carved into a soldier under one banner. And they would be taught the basics of the weaponry system and the battlecraft, tactics and all. And after that 44 weeks of training, they were soldiers, not from the Northeast, but from the Indian Army, from the Assam Regiment.
Yes.
So that is the sort of a skill, and that is the sort of a motivation that was inculcated in them. They would speak the same language thereafter. Because initially when they came, they did not know anything how to speak Hindi. They started learning a thing which is absolutely different than what we normally talk Hindi. It's called Roman Hindi. Roman Hindi. Now, Roman Hindi is something which is not, talked about anywhere at all across the world. Now, Roman Hindi is a mix between a Hindi and English.
Okay.
Now, certain places it's called English.
English. Okay.
Okay. So that is how Roman Hindi is. That you convert the Hindi words, a quota of that into English and a quota of that into Hindi and speak. So they were all, speaking that particular language. They were under the banner of the Assam Regiment.
Okay.
And as we all know, it's world famous today. Our salutation is unique,
yes,
which is Tagda Raho.
Tagda Raho.
And Tagda Raho means be strong.
Be strong.
And this was formulated by one of our officers in the battalion. Of course, he used to walk around and ask the soldier, "Kaisa hai? Tagda hai?" So obviously the soldier is to reply back, "Tagda Raho." Tagda aisa. So the Tagda Raho became a salutation in the Assam Regiment, which is now being talked about across the world.
Yes.
Then the second thing about the Assam Regiment which is now being discussed, and you have a lot of followers, is that famous song called Badurang Bhajan.
Sorry to cut you, but I also, जैसे आपने कभी आसाम रेजिमेंट नहीं सुना था before that, but मैंने भी नहीं सुना था, but मैंने एक गाना सुना था same that your आसाम रेजिमेंट का जो वो है बदलूराम का बदन जमी का नीचे है, and I was very I got very interested कि ये कैसा, मतलब what is this lyrics ऐसा. Then after that I tried to study about it and मैंने उसका story जाना, and I want you to tell our audience the story behind that बदलू राम का बदन जमीन का नीचे है.
Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting thing, and there are a lot of people talking about it. And now, what happened when our regiment was raised on 15th of June, 1941.
940.
Straight after that, we went to war. We went to the World War II, that's 42, and we went to Jasami, and that area of Jasami, Kharsham, that's the belt where we fought. Now, Balluram, as the legend goes, was a soldier blue in our in the battalion, the first battalion of our regiment, the first battalion, Assam Regiment, and during the war he died. Now, in the army, you draw rations for everyone.
Yes.
Now, the person who draws the ration is a quartermaster. Now, this quartermaster did not know that Badhuram is no more.
No.
So, he kept drawing his ration.
Okay.
And the ration accumulated over a period of time. With the Japs surrounded,
Japanese
surrounded this particular battalion. There's nothing coming from behind. But that rations saw the men through to fight against the Japanese, and that is why they are indebted to Balluram, and that is how they say Balluram ka badan zameen ka niche hai, to humne uska ration milta hai. Matlab he died for the country, he died for us, but his ration came handy to us. So that is how the sign says, it goes, Balluram ka badan zameen ka niche hai, Balluram ka badan zameen ka niche hai, Balluram ka badan zameen ka niche hai, to humne uska ration milta hai. So that's it. Sabash, hallelujah, sabash, hallelujah. So, Sid, like everything has got something behind it. So, all of us in the Assam Regiment, we are indebted to Balluram for that little sacrifice which he did, and so for in his honor, the song, of course, is viral. It's got a rap version. Everything.
Yes, have you listened to that rap version?
Yeah. So that's how it is. Yes. So Assam Regiment, in spite of the fact that he's got men from the northeast, from the Seven Sisters, now we've started taking troops from Sikkim also. We started taking troops from the Garhwal also. But what is seen? It's like a machine. Like an automatic weapon. Now, automatic weapon, you have different parts. But when it is assembled, it's a weapon that is fired. So similarly, you've got troops coming from all over, assembled, and they're fighting with the regiment, they're fighting with the country. That's how it is. The second aspect of the men of the Assam Regiment is like, all of you must have recently seen that movie called Sam Bahadur.
Sam Bahadur, yes.
Where our great Sam Bahadur says, Sam Manekshaw, the person whom I admire the most as far as the field generals are concerned. And he talks about this thing. He says, if you're saying you're not afraid, either you're a liar or you're a Gurkha. I would connect the same thing to the Assam Regiment troops. They are also the same. They are daring, they are brave, they will do anything. They will survive in any situation. That is why today Assam Regiment is reckoned as one of the best Indian infantry units across
the globe. Interesting.
Because there could be a reason for it, because there is not much of induction of the Gurkha troops coming in. And in Assam Regiment, they're very, very sturdy people, being in the hill, coming from the hilly areas. And you're also aware of the fact that Akhom, the Assam dynasty, Akhomis, the Assam dynasty. Assam is the only place which has not been conquered so far by any aggressor in the world. So that's another history. Yes. So obviously it is inbuilt in them. Yes. They have that trait in them, which sees them through all sort of war. All these wars we fought from 41, we fought in 65, 71, in Sri Lanka, and all the wars till fought, our men, officers have participated. They won laurels for the regiment and for the Indian Army per se.
So have you heard of Lachit Borphukan?
Yeah, I mean, like
because the topic is of that why Assam was never.
He's a legend by himself, right?
Yes.
And I mean, like it is only of late that his gallantry or his historics have come into fore. But that is what it is.
Yes.
He did not allow any of the invaders to come in, whether it was the Mughal or the British. They could not make any inroads into this thing. I mean, they have not gone captured any area.
But they defended themselves for almost 600 years.
Yes.
600 years is a long period.
Absolutely. And plus, add to it, they maintained their, although being cut off from the rest of the India, they maintained themselves so well. And they were a civilization by themselves. Right? And if you see the art,
the overall
culture of that particular the northeastern state, it is something really different.
Yes.
It's only of late. I will not say I'm not carrying out a political assassination of the previous regimes, but it is now of late, in the last about a decade plus, where we have made inroads into the northeast and found that yes, these are the people. There is a culture there. There is an art there. There are people who are much beyond the Assam Regiment.
And I personally believe that although I do not divide into mainland people and that I do not support that idea, but because in that terms, like from the we are from the almost the center where most of the spotlight is. In our history, we should be taught of those great empires.
Yes.
जिसकी वजह से हमें प्राइड फील होगी. We were part of it.
Correct.
We come from the same legacy.
Correct. Yes. So Abhi, like Sid, I mean, now that you've brought the point out, it's beautiful in a sense that when I was through school or you were through school or colleges and all, we never read about these people, right? Yeah. We were, everything which was pushed on to our this thing was either the Mughals or the British. Now, nowhere in the history line do we have anywhere that we have talked about our, even for a Rana Pratap. We have, there's nothing, not many pages have been,
No, pages mein bahut bada ho gaya, sir. Just small sentences.
That's it. Rani, Jhansi ki Rani, right? How much have we talked about Jhansi ki Rani, or for that matter, Razia Sultan? They're odd figures. They have fought for us, right? But we never found them because these textbooks have been made by the British, and they have put in what they thought was the best. That's out. Yeah, Jhansi Ki Rani reminds me of a very important, very interesting, the intake into the armed forces of the female gender, that's a woman force, happened in 1999 in the Indian Army. It was OTA only. Just before the Kargil War, that's the first batch of the ladies that came into the Indian Army. Now, way back in 1977, when I was doing in 1976, 77, when I was doing my course, and there had this debate competition that happened. It's a very interesting here, right? And the debate competition, the topic was कि आर्मी मेडिकल कोर के अलावा हिंदुस्तानी सेना में नारी का आगमन होना चाहिए या नहीं. So I spoke for it.
Okay.
Now, coming from for me, for people, I was a Keralite.
Okay.
Speaking in a Hindi debate in a symposium that was happening, and speaking for was something which was not very acceptable, right? But then I started. My opening lines were, Lakshmi thiya Durga the mein sway veerta ki avatar, dekh maratha pulkit hote uski talwaron ke vaar. सोचिए कल मैदान जंग में आपके बगल में 32 की एक लड़की बगल में LMG दबाए आपके साथ जंग में कूद जाए तो आपको कैसा लगेगा. The whole house was in total splits and laughter, and I won the particular debate. This thing. And then when 1999, when I came to know the Richa or these girls who got a commission, my mind went back. So many years back, I said that in the Indian Army, the woman should come in. And today it has been proved.
Yes.
So that is how it is.
Mhm.
So, like we would talk in due course of time as to how do we motivate the next generation. But I'm just saying that, like if the woman can come into the forces, and why are the youth not getting
Mm.
motivated to join the forces?
Mm.
So I mean,
Sure.
just that.
Sure. We'll just because of that this thing OTA आया highlight में. So I wanna know about your OTA experiences and कैसे your seniors है like जो आपको train करते हैं और जो भी I'm really sorry I don't know about what happens in OTA, but I want to hear from you कि कैसे रगड़ा जाता है.
Okay. ऐसा है कि
what is OTA, sir? First of all.
OTA, see, in good old days, when the 62 war happened, they wanted another academy where they will churn out emergency commission officers.
Okay.
That is how the thing about the officers training school came up. Now, this after this, they started training officers to join the army because there was a shortage of officers. That training started happening, and then slowly it graduated into officers training academy.
Yes.
So this was basically open that they wanted to have short service officers who would be available to compensate or make up for the shortage of officers and all. And plus add to it, give them an opportunity in case they don't want to continue, they can catch up the civil stream.
Okay.
Because having so many officers after the war is over would be a loss to the exchequer. So that was basically, they were pushed in as emergency commission officers. But then they realized that these officers who got metal in them, they can be used. So then they kept the option open. They kept the training on. The training was for about 1 year, closer to 1 year. They kept the option open that after 5 years, you can leave the army.
Okay.
And if you are capable, you fit the criteria, you will be given permanent commission and you will continue for this thing. So the option was given at that point. After the option was given, also there was the criteria that are you fitting the bill or not.
Okay.
So 5 years you're spending with your troops, with your men, and then you're being analyzed if you have the capability in you, and then you get your permanent commission. That is how the thing was there. The training part of this, when you talk about this, you will use the word ragada. Now we don't take it as a ragada. This has been created by the media that the men, ragging is there everywhere. When you join a college, don't you have ragging? Right? It could be a mental ragging, it could be a physical ragging. But here, because you have to be trained to be tough.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean ragging. I mean ragada jata in the sense.
Correct.
Heavy training and
yeah. Okay. No. I'm coming to that.
Yes.
Now, you have a cycle wherein you are training your men or your troops or the cadets per se. It's got a very restricted time, right? So you have your physical training in the morning. You may have UAC, combats, and these things, and sports activities and all. But it is the responsibility of the senior to make you tougher than what the training time gives you.
Okay.
So what you're talking about, the ragada, is given to make you tough. Okay. They are trying to make a man out of your a child or a boy. So the seniors are told that make them tough. Make them tough that they can survive to, in a sense, they can spend more hours without sleeping, right? Take the vagaries of the climate, take it, and they are able to withstand all the pressure. So that is what ragada is all about, right? So it starts straight from the gate. Now, when you come in, you are a civilian, you're an Amitabh Bachchan or a Dharmendra with long hairs and things like that, and you walk in, and the first thing which is done is that they cut your hair and they make it, they give you the crew cut, like what you are sporting now. So, and then they give you a box. They give you a black box which has got all those things, and on all your luggage, you got to carry it on your own. Once you're off the army vehicle, you've got to carry it on your own. The first time, you've been all those spoiled brats of your parents who are not used to doing all this, suddenly you find that. So it is how you construe the whole thing. Do you look at it as a ragada or is it a toughening exercise? So your mind is thinking. So the weakling will think it is a ragada, while a tougher mind will take it as a strengthening exercise. So that's
how. For me, I'm getting tough.
Yeah, I'm getting tough. That's all. That's how it is.
Yes.
So then over a period of time, you have the training which is there. It's a 10 months training, which is divided into 2 terms. You have the first term and the second term. First term is you talk the basics, how you're groomed to be a gentleman cadet.
Okay.
Right? And because subsequently, after the second term is over, from a gentleman cadet, you're going to be transformed into an officer. So all the nuances of the training, of your mannerisms, all these things are OLQ. There's a thing called OLQ, officer-like quality.
Officer-like quality.
So that all is inculcated into you, so that when you go, you are required to command troops. So whatever you breathe out, the troops are learning. So that is how the training is, where you have a weapon training being conducted to you, your physical training, your endurance is increased, right? Obviously, you are coming from a basic civil background. Yes. You have to break that this thing and then mature into a proper officer. Yes. That's how the training establishment is all about.
Great. I wanted to know about during this training period, you must have your buddies.
Yeah.
Your the lingo that is your chaps, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience. How I've seen that the kind of brotherhood that an armed personnel have within his mainly his core. Yeah, उनके साथ जो उनके वो रहते तो what kind of brotherhood stories do you have?
Okay. Now during the training period. This aspect about buddies. How the word buddy has come in. The word buddy has come in is from association with another person. Okay. Now you breathe in and breathe out. This particular person is available to you. It is something like a family. In a family, you have brothers and sisters. You have a compatibility with them. So you choose your buddy who will be there for you in all walks of life. He will be there whether you're doing training or whether you're not well or these things along. This buddy system, what you talked about, I think it doesn't happen in the academy per se.
Okay.
It happens once you're doing your commando course.
Okay.
Right? In the academy, you're all gentlemen cadets.
Okay.
Right? Or when in India, you're cadets. So, but you have your own section. You have platoons. You have this thing. You're trained as particular that aspect. So, but yes, everyone is supposed to be commissioned into war, right? So you have to be together in that battlefield together. So that spirit of camaraderie is what buddy is all about. That is what buddy is all about. So you have to see. So when you work in cohesion, how do you work? You're coming from different backgrounds, right? But you're fighting the war together, or you're fighting any skirmishes together, right? So if you're thinking tangentially, so here in the academy, they're trained to think alike. So that's the background.
Okay, got it. And आपके पास ऐसे कोई stories है, fun stories?
In the academy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there are so many stories. Now,
if you want to share a few of them.
Oh well, there are so many stories. Personally, I'll tell you what. Like you said about Ragada. Now, in the initial first term, the second you have 2 termers. The first termers and the second termers. The second termers are responsible to give you Ragada. So what they try to do is, after the last your dinner is over, they will call you at night for that particular fatigue sort of activity. At night, they will call you the whistle will come on, and you have to gather. Then there is a thing called rig changing.
Sorry?
Rig, R-I-G, rig changing. Rig is a
Rig
dress,
changing.
right? Now, rig changing is what you have different dresses for different things. You have a dress which you wear for PT,
Okay.
a dress which you require for weapon training,
Okay.
a dress which you wear for the class, a dress which you wear for the evening, what do you call,
Parade.
sports,
Okay.
and for the dinner,
Okay.
right? So there are various dresses.
Okay.
So that is called the patti parade, rig changing, called the patti parade.
Okay.
Patti parade in a sense, the second termer will tell you, okay, change to this. So you have to rush back to your barrack and change into the dress and come back, and there is a time.
Okay.
So within this particular time frame, if you're not coming, then you will be giving front rolls and back rolls and all sort of a physical activity, so that you're attuned to stick to the timing. Now, why this is being done is all wars of hot on timings. If you cannot be prepared in the correct time at the D-Day or the HR, which we'll talk about later, and you're not listening. So what are they doing? They're making you train. So they'll suddenly tell you that, okay, FSMO. So you have to go and change the FSMO. FSMO is that kit where you carry your battle dress. You change with that. Then after that, after about once everyone has come in, there's a PT. You go back and you change into PT dress. So it keeps happening like that. So in my case, what happened was, I was a movie buff.
Movie. Okay.
Okay, and I was very fond of dialogues, and I could relate myself to any film actor, right? And that time, this film Sholay had come in,
Okay.
and that famous dialogue of Gabbar Singh, "Kitne aadmi the," those things. So, and the seniors knew that I had a penchant for this, and they knew that this guy can, come and sing and he can act. So, when that whole ragada used to be happening, or patti parade used to be happening, some of the seniors would call me into their rooms and say, okay, you give us, narrate the whole Sholay dialogues. So, I used to go there and start sing that complete Gabbar Singh's dialogue, that whole narration. And that used to take about half an hour or so. And then I used to do some sing songs. And I used to be saved that wrath of, this particular thing. Not that I was not getting physically tuned. I was a sergeant by then. And luckily I was doing well. But yes, of course, this, and then by that time that people everyone in my course started saying, yeah, dekho. इसने तो रोड़ा खाया नहीं, ये तो सीनियर्स का वो है, चमचा है, ये जाके वो डायलॉग मार के आ जाता है. तो that is how
इसको जरूरत नहीं.
इसको जरूरत. Then there is a thing called an outpass.
Outpass.
Okay. Now what happens is that the outpass you will only get once you clear the drill.
Okay.
Now, drill is one thing. The drill parade you have, the adjutant of the center, adjutant of the academy will come. He comes on a horseback.
Okay.
It's a very, very sort of a scene which you have to really visualize that particular thing. You're standing in one straight line, and the drill instructor tells you to march. Go to march about 50 steps or so, and you'll be trained to watch. But the assessment whether you're correct or not is not done by the adjutant. It is done by the horse.
Okay.
The horse gives a nod. That means it's very interesting. Very interesting. And we used to keep looking at the horse when the horse is giving a nod. So once you've done that, and then you get your line yard.
Line yard.
Okay, in line yard, what you wear in your where you have the whistle on. So every person who does clears the drill, he gets a line yard, and he gets an access to an outpass.
Okay.
Outpass is going out.
Going out.
Right, and going out what? See, out of the walls of the academy, you're going out to see what colors. Right, so you're waiting for that Sunday when you want to go out, sneak out, and go and see colors of the school, college girls and all. So we wait, and obviously in Madras you would go to one of the restaurants, have your lunch, but then you're not realizing that that girl spots you as that you're from the from the OTS or the academy, because you've got a crew cut on, you're wearing a tie, which is the regiment or the academy tie you're wearing. So from a mile, she can this thing. So subsequently, you become smart Alex.
Okay.
What you do is you carry a bag.
Huh.
In the bag, you carry a civil dress.
Okay.
Okay, once go and change in one of the bathrooms there, you change to a civil dress and get your uniform, the tie wala inside, and try and go and impress the girls. Because at that point of time, we never used to have these dance balls and these things.
Right now,
it is of late it has started. So for us, and especially for guys who've done the college in universities and all, like seeing a girl after 6 months or 3 months and all, it is something, and I obviously want to date her. So that's how. So there's an incident. What happened was, this has got nothing to do with girls, of course. I know you were contemplating that I'm going to talk about a girl. No, it's not that. Just about 5 of us. It's an incident which happened, which is there in my. We went to Marina Beach. If you've heard of the Marina Beach and these things, and we had gone, all 5 of us on an outpass, and then we went to the beach and we were swimming.
Okay.
And then we came to the shore, and suddenly I find that out of the 4, out of the 5, 1 is missing.
Okay.
And we were panicking, and the outpass timings are till about 5 o'clock in the evening. You got to be back into our this thing, and it was nearly 4 by then. And then someone called up. He said, "Yeah, where is Kasturia?" I mean, the guy is Navtesh Kasturia. Suddenly we find someone is floating in the wave. And luckily for us, there were these lungi-clad urchins there, and they sprung into action. They swam across, brought him back, and then we pumped out the water out of him. For a minute, we didn't know what had struck us. We knew that, firstly, that we are already getting late. Secondly, an incident like this, we would have screwed by the time we reached back the camp. So, and then we asked him, "Yeah, Navdesh, what happened?" He said, "Yes, guys, I don't know how to swim." So I mean, like, we said, "Yeah, what the fuck, yeah? Why the hell did you go to the water then?" But then that is how it is, that in that spirit it happens. Yes. You get so there are the academy has lot of tales to tell. It will take me, for 9 months, the number of tales that it will take me hours together to do that.